Afternoon 4pmers, time for a 4pm, as it's nearly 4pm. Sway and stretch is the name of the game for our 4pm movement snack. Extra movement minutes to be had. Should you wish, take as much or take as little from the movement snack as you like, depending on how you're feeling, what's going on with you today. There are standing and seated options and standing options with support. So it's just about making the right choices for you at the right point in time and depending on what you're doing as well. All of those things. 2 minutes to 4. We've literally, apologies for not sending a nudge message through for the 4pm, but we've literally just walked in the door and I've been driving for a good 45 minutes. We left at about just gone 3 o'clock from Nuneaton. Lovely place, Nuneaton. Really want to go back there. Only one visit to Nuneaton this season for us. We had a shambles of the first half. Our goalkeeper scoring in the wrong net. We did score 1 goal. We scored 1 for them and they scored a subsequent 5 more. But then second half, that we now wish was the first half, we were more awake and a bit more switched on. And the second half, 0-0. So we can hold them off. They had a rather nippy player up front in striker mode, who we just need to take a bit more care of when we meet them in our next fixture. So that's the score for today's match. It's a long day when you travel there and back from Nuneaton. The old day is a football day. I can't even see who's in. I can see a couple of you are in. Oh, no viewers yet, but it says 2. It says 2 of you are in. I am on the right group. Here's the first name coming up on the screen. Here's Maddie. I might leave it till about 1 past, Maddie, just to see if we can collect a few more stragglers in to this movement snack. And it will give me a chance to get a little bit further down the cup with my cup of coffee as well. It's now raining here. It started off beautiful day. As we went to Nuneaton, it got a bit duller, a bit cooler, and on the way home it's happily chucked it down. Any more for any more? Come on, come on. I'm going to let the clock roll on till 1 past and then I'll do my 3, 2, 1 countdown. Afternoon, Gillian. Gillian's arrived. Maddie's arrived. Have you got any more people waiting behind you in the queue? Let them in. Right. I'm going to have to, I've got a rather bad look on the shoes department that I will have to shortly remove. How about that? Socks and flops. I will be discarding the flops to the side and just going in the socks for this movement snack. Are you ready? Here we go. 3, 2, 1. Afternoon, welcome. It is Sunday, the 15th. Happy birthday to my great mate Julia Mark. I've not sent you a birthday message yet, but I will do shortly after I've done the movement snack. But happy birthday to my best mate Julia. This is 4pm, sway and stretch. It's the 15th of September. Right, come on. Okay, so if you would like to be in standing, have a space. Not much. Bit of external support, access to that. That might be in front of you, to the side of you, on a slight diagonal to you. And when you're ready, with a gap between your feet for better balance, gap not too big, and better ease of transferring from right leg to left leg, let's get the foot pedals into play. Now if you sat down, just before you get your foot pedals into play, take a bit of a hip lifting, hip walking manoeuvre out toward the front portion of your chair. Have a think about your posture prompts. What does your posture need from how it's feeling now to how you want it to feel? What kind of reminders do you give yourself to get a bit more taller, to get a bit more activity into the muscles, in our posture muscles and in our centre? What kind of things might you be looking for in yourself if you're looking in the mirror at your posture? It might be head, chin, neck position. It might be chest, shoulders, shoulder blades position. It might be trunk, lifting, lengthening, feeling taller, standing taller. Let's get the arms in. So a tucked in position with your arms, an easy swing from the shoulders, keeping the elbows fixed and in that bent position throughout. You might be using a bit of external support as you march just one arm and of course both legs. Just notice what's happening. What can you feel? Can you put a little bit more into this? As in maybe picking up the knees a bit higher, maybe swinging the arms a little bit bigger. Or do you want to pause the legs and just finish off with just a focus on arms? And that done on its own, you may be able to make the arm movements a bit bigger as it's more simplified without the arms and legs having to coordinate themselves with each other. Settle down, settle and stand. Stand strong, be secure in your posture, in your standing or your sitting position, and we'll move into our sway routine. So we had a little wingy arm flap and float to the side. Stays quite low though, just so to not encourage a hunch of your shoulders. Maybe just have a couple of those. Same in seated. And an additional point of the sideways arm flap is a small sinking knee bend that you might want to add in there to join that movement together with some legs. Once you've done that, we can take a forearm rolling action, and then with the back of the hands, one hand pushes down and back and the other hand pushes up and back. Now I'm rolling in towards my body here. You can roll in whichever way you like and then change sides, pressing away there. You can roll forwards or you can roll back in towards yourself, it's up to you. And then just do that one more time. Now as you're doing that rolly action, you can take a bit of a turn to the side and then a turn to the other side, and then finish it off with maybe a couple of rolls and a press back to reset. I'm just doing the 4 PM, Willow. But they probably don't realise. Bob, give her a nudge. Little sinky knee bend. Rolling back. There. Rolling back. There. To the one side. And then steadily rolling back to the other side. You can feel your body open up to the side there and you're opening up a bit of space as well there. Okay, I think that came in with a optional forward stepping action. Now, the forward stepping action, you can keep the back foot flat and have a shift there and a shift back, or you might want to step it through and push through the big toe and the ball of the foot there, and then take the step back. And that occurs on the openy arm bit. Let's take a couple of these. Knee bend. Float the arms, soft fingers and wrists. And then we've got that rolling action, stepping into it. It doesn't matter if you do opposite arm to leg there, or same arm, same leg. There's a sideways turn, a slow turning action, and then back to the top. I'm going to do a couple of rounds more. And you can step it through with your seated options as well, if you like. Just steadily turning back. And let's take this through once more, with or without the knee bend, with or without the stepping action. And the final turn and roll and turn to the other side. That rolling and turning gets the shoulders going. Let's put a few stretches in that benefit our shoulders and other muscle groups too. I'm going to do the upward side stretch first, after one final swig down here, or two. Okay, loosen a bit of jumper up if you need to, and then you will have less clothing restrictions when you, and less tightness around your shoulder here with your clothes as you try to reach the hand to the same shoulder. The other arm can support. Stay tall in the trunk and as straight and as upright as you can, all the way through your armpit and out the top of your elbow here. See how far you can reach behind you. Can you get to the top of your head, the back of your head, the nape of your neck, or any much further over the back there? Extra length in the trunk can include that small side tilt, finished off with either a single arm reach, hold it for a few seconds, or if that shoulder's a little bit troublesome to get into reaching high positions, you could do a joint, both arms, double arm stretch. Swap sides. Lift up. Try and keep your head in a comfortable position, so as the arm goes up, making sure that the head doesn't crook itself, the neck doesn't crook itself into an uncomfy position. Try and stay as upright as you can. Take the arm up rather than take the neck down to get the arm up. A small side tilt, finished off with a full arm stretch. That might be the one arm on its own or the both together. Okay, in for a chest stretch next. So find your way around. You might want to go and put the heel of your hands just in the dint of your hips there, side of your buttocks, and take the elbows back. You might want to hold your hands or hold your wrist. You might be able to reach back if you're sitting down and hold on to some part of the chair that's behind you, in order to open the chest and stretch those muscles. Quite a nice other option chest stretch to do, if you hold it there, is if you're walking through a door frame and you put your hand against the door frame and you just walk your feet round a fraction, and that will open up and stretch just one side of your chest at a time. So the hands goes flat and you just carry on walking your feet round a bit of the way. I actually get a better stretch when I do single sides at a time than this double arm stretch. But either which way, you should be feeling that. Take a pause, and if you're not sat down, head into seated. We'll do our back of thigh stretch here. So once you've sat down, you might need to readjust your position, because sometimes when we sit down we don't end up in perch, we end up quite far back in the chair. So hip walk forwards until the backs of your thighs are free from the chair, and then you'll be able to straighten out the knee as straight as you can get it. Talking of straight, we want to get the posture as straight as we can get it. And then like you've got a plank of wood down your back, you're then going to tilt forwards with that imaginary plank of wood down your spine, so that you're not rounding or hunching. You're trying to keep the chest lifted, keep the neck long, keep the shoulders back, and a bit of a space between your rib cage and your hips there, so it's not sitting down onto the rib cage onto the hips. So loads of small specific checkpoints there for this stretch, and what you're feeling is a pull at the back of your knee, up and around the hip. Some of you, if you've got a bit of stiffness, tightness and range of movement isn't as rangy in the back, you might feel that in your back as well. See if you can go a bit further, and if you want a bit of a reach check, see how far you can reach down without bouncing or jerking the movement. Just move, creep the fingertips down as far as they can go. A few seconds to hold and then ease off. Okay, changing on to the other side then. So lifting the, well, not lifting the toes, pointing the toes away. Lifting the posture, that's where the lift comes in. And then hinging forwards, imaginary plank of wood down your back. So there's no, or there's as little as possible rounding, hunching, humping your back. Just hold it there. Feel the stretch tension pulling away. Breathe your way into it, and just finish off the hold with maybe a flexibility check. How far can you reach down? Keeping it smooth, without bending your knee. And then recover. Now if you're staying in seated for our final stretch, which is for calf, stay where you are, leg out straight but toes pulled back towards you. Push the heel under as you pull the toes back. Just simply sitting tall. You should be into a calf stretch already. If you prefer to be in standing, make your way up, power up into standing, and let's organise the feet into a split standing position. If you're close to a wall, you might want to butt your front toes up to the skirting board. Push the heel away and bend in with the front knee. Just have a glance down and around the corner at the back toes, just to make sure that they're not drifting off to the side. They are in line with that back heel best you can, and then you'll get the stretch targeting the proper area. Gap between your feet if you are in standing, and maintain the gap as you stride back. There's the front knee bend. Your toes might be up towards the skirting board, touching the skirting board. There's a bit of a spiky bit of the gripper rod that spikes me there if I'm not careful. And then your seated option there, toes pulled back, staying tall, simple. If you've got achy legs or you've been on your feet for a long time, you feel like your calf muscles are a bit blocky and chunky after the amount of activity that you've been doing, get them into a stretch position. You could sit on the bed and pull your toes back here. You could sit with your feet on a foot cushion or a pouffet, whatever you call them, footrest, and pull your toes back towards you. You don't have to be on the floor. As long as you can pull the toes back, you'll feel a calf stretch and hold that position, and you'll get some lengthening into the calf. There we go, there's your 4 p.m. A sway selection of moves and some stretches. Thanks for coming in, Helen, Patricia, Gillian, Maddie. There's your sway and stretch movement minutes. I'm gonna yawn. I always yawn on the 4 p.m, don't I? It's that time of day. Right, everyone, thanks for joining me. Pleasure as always, and ta-ra for now.